And good morning. Welcome to Artist Spotlight right here on Nextdoor Radio and nextdoorradio.com. I am Trey Snide. This morning we have a special presentation as we welcome the Brown Mountain Light Bugs, Kendra and Zach Harding. Good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning.
We are
We're doing
good.
good. How's Winston-Salem, North Carolina here this morning?
It's nice. The weather's not too hot. Um, yeah.
Yeah, it's been weird because it's still like we've had cold nights up until uh, last night.
Yeah.
It's like I've never had cold nights up in this deep in May
June.
before. Yeah, today's June. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so it's been I'm a baseball coach here locally, and we've had 90 degrees, 85, 90 degrees. And then this weekend it dropped down to 60, even 54 on late Saturday night. So it was kind of a pleasant, nice surprise. But again, I'm still in favor of the warmer weather, especially for baseball.
Yeah. We played a show Saturday in what town was that in?
Clifton Forge, Virginia.
No. Sorry, Friday is the one I'm thinking of.
Friday we were in Tarboro.
Yeah, Tarboro, and it was like 90 degrees. We were sweating like crazy, and we prepared for our next show thinking that it was going to be the same situation, right? And so the next show we show up in Clifton, Virginia, and we were freezing. It was it's like the 90 degrees went away.
Yeah, and so again, this is the Brown Mountain Light Bugs right here on our Artist Spotlight segment. Kendra and Zach Harding, a husband and wife duo. So for those that don't quite understand or doesn't recognize who you are, let's kind of introduce one by one and kind of go from there.
Yeah. So I'm Kendra Harding. I'm one half of the Bugs, and I have been playing music in some form since I was in high school. I actually started on bass, and then moved to guitar, and then I decided that I wanted to study music, so I went to college for that, and then I decided that one round at college wasn't enough, so I went to college again and got a second degree in music composition from the School of the Arts. So I'm like a thermometer. I just accumulated
Hey,
degrees.
never a bad thing. That's right.
But yeah, so we were talking about this, and music was the thing I always wanted to do, and so I just kind of went with the path that seemed like it made the most sense, and that's how I ended up with Zach. Actually, was through my internship at college. So
Yeah.
worked out.
Yeah. For me, I just so I took a totally different path than she did. I just started playing music with my buddies in little bands in the garage, literally garage. And like when I say garage, I mean like an automotive repair shop garage.
Fantastic.
That's where my stepdad worked, and we would just go in there at night as soon as the mechanics cleared out and just jam from 6 p.m. until 5 and 6 a.m. the next morning.
Wow.
And we did that for many years, and then I eventually figured out how to play music a little while after all that. So, and then I just played in a lot of bands and stuff, and then played at an open mic night that I hosted, and that's where Kendra came in, and I met her at my open mic night. So.
Fantastic. So explain the what the name means. How did it come about? Again, the Brown Mountain Light Bugs. It's unique. I mean, I think that's what you were kind of going for, especially. But explain how the name came about.
Yeah, so when we were dating, I had just moved back to Winston-Salem, and Zach was still living in Hendersonville. And so we would drive to see each other over the weekend, and the halfway point is at Morganton, more or less.
Yeah.
And that's where Brown Mountain is. And if you're familiar with the legends around Brown Mountain, there's these mysterious lights that appear periodically, and nobody knows what they are or where they come from, and they've tried to study them, they've tried to catch them. Some people think it's ghosts, some people think it's aliens. There's all kinds of theories, but they're called the Brown Mountain Lights because they're lights on Brown Mountain. And so one night we were just kind of hanging out with my parents, and my dad said something about Brown Mountain lightning bugs, and it just kind of lodged in the backs of our brains as like, oh, that would be a cool band name. And it seemed appropriate since that was kind of the halfway point between here and there. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
That's pretty cool. I mean, you just never know where things like, for example, artists, for example, the songs come about. You never know where it kind of comes and where that mindset says, oh, we're thinking about bugs right now. How do we put that toward put some music behind it, which is pretty cool
Yeah.
to me, which is fascinating because I am the concept of being an artist to me has skipped my generation for years upon years. My grandfather has started his own band, taught himself how to play, taught his entire band how to play. My sister can play. My wife can. I mean, all that. I'm useless when it comes to that. We can talk on the radio, but that's about it.
Well, hey, that has its place, man. That has its place.
There you go. Somebody's got to do it. That's right.
Yeah.
So the Brown Mountain Light and Bugs joins us right here on our artist spotlight here on Next Door Radio. Kendra and Zach Harding, they are husband and wife duo. So explain what the Brown Mountain Light Bugs are. What kind of music are you playing? What kind of genre do you want to kind of fit yourself in, if that's correctly how you say something like that?
Yeah. When we started off, it was just the two of us with acoustic guitars, and it was pretty simple and pared down. And we were not really like necessarily country or bluegrass or any of that kind of stuff, but definitely an acoustic kind of folky sound. Mm-hmm. Well, over the years, we just kept adding more and more to the band. We've added percussion, so Kendra actually plays like a bass drum and a hi-hat while she sings. I use like effects pedals like you'd think with like, electric guitar. So wah pedals and delay and all that kind of Jimi Hendrix sort of stuff. And I do that through my banjo. I play electric banjo. So we've got electric banjo with pedals. She's on percussion. She also plays melodica. So what we call it now, we call it folk-ish. Because we've still got the folk, but there's a whole lot of ish stuff going on.
I love it. Last time you guys were in studio, I think you showed this little toy that you bought off of and I know I see you shaking head. I know you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Do you still have that instrument? Is that what you still play?
Yeah, so that's the melodica. Okay. I don't use the green one anymore.
Okay.
It's back, but if you're watching, we're in our studio, and there's our storage shelves. We don't have a closet. We have a storage shelf.
Yeah.
But it's back there. That's where it lives now, because Zach got me a new one for my birthday. That's quite a bit nicer, so we might bust that one out.
Let's do it. I know. It's like, what in the world is that? It sounded great to me because you guys were live in the studio. We did an artist spotlight, and I talked a little bit about it off air, but it was back in 2018-ish kind of thing, and it's been that long since we've actually get to see each other, now we're on by way of Zoom here this morning. Again, it's the artist spotlight. But hey, I'm ready for some music. Are you guys prepared to rock and roll this morning?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to grab our instruments out of the other room because they won't fit in this one.
Thank you.
It's very small.
All right.
We'll be right back. All right, you want me to just grab it?
Yeah.
What do you want first?
Let's do the melodica first. Let's do Same New Woman. So he's grabbing a guitar and melodica, and I'm
you can showcase this while I get my guitar.
Thank you. I'm staying put.
Yeah, so explain what this song is all about and how it came about for you.
So Zach wrote this one because there's kind of this trope that you hear in movies and songs and lost the video feed. Yeah. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear. Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go. You're the same person I fell in love with all those years ago. He tells us better than I do, but basically the gist of it is that when you are with someone for the long haul, you both grow and change, and you're not the same person that you were, but that's a good thing because you get to fall in love with all the different pieces of progression that a person has.
There you go. Yeah. Perfect. Well, I'm excited.
And here's the melodica again.
A little bit more fancier than the last one that I saw. Yeah. Just a little bit.
It is. It's a little bit bigger. This one has a lot nicer mouthpieces, but I'm going to use the tube today just because it's easier because I can see my hands.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah, on the instructions for this thing, it says it's for students, and it says please don't swing it around your head and hit your friends with it. It's like that's part of the instructions.
Yeah, hey, you just got to warn people just in case. There you
You
go.
never know.
That's
You're
right.
be swinging
All
that
right.
melodica around.
All right, take it away.
You're not the same woman I met all of those years ago. In 5 years' time, you'll be another yet, with 10 or 20 more to go. We're always rolling like the river's blue. I keep changing along with you. Fall in love for the 1000th time. The same new woman by my side. The snowflakes were falling, but the coffee was warm, and I was just as lost as you. Strangers became friends in the storm, and that was the first love I knew. We're always rolling like the river's blue. I keep changing along with you. Fall in love for the 1000th time. The same new woman by my side. When I was hurting, sick and afraid, you told me you loved me and I believed. Met you again on our wedding day. I love each of you, I'm yet to meet. We're always rolling like the river's blue. I keep changing along with you. I fall in love for the 1000th time. The same new woman by my side. And we're always rolling like the river's blue. I keep changing along with you. I fall in love for the 1000th time. The same new woman by my side.
I don't know how artists are able to wake up in the morning and just start singing. That amazes me. That's a great job, guys. Brown Mountain Light Bucks right here on our artist spotlight. Hey, I just got a notification from and you know it, Brandy Lee Beck is tuning in this morning. She says, "Hey, she's happy to
Hey, Brandy.
see you guys are doing great." Again, this is the artist spotlight right here on Next Door Radio, nextdoorradio.com. So, explain this. We talked a little bit about it off air once again about how this year has been extremely busy for you guys. So explain what you've been up to.
We've been playing gigs, driving, sleeping, playing gigs, driving, sleeping. No, we both have we teach outside of this, and then I do a little bit of project management work. But in the month of May, something happened, and we ended up with more gigs in a month than we've ever had, which was great considering where we were last May.
Yeah, that's right.
And so it was nice for it to kind of come full circle. We mostly played North and South Carolina, a little bit in Virginia. But yeah, we've just been
it's been
driving.
a wide variety of shows too,
Yeah.
which is nice because for the last year, you know, once things open back up, we've mostly been playing kind of smaller shows at breweries and stuff because that was all that was available. We've been able to play bigger events that are more like really music events, you know.
Yeah.
And we've played a handful of those, and that's been really nice to play the breweries as well as the performance venues. And then also we did a private show over the weekend, that was fun too.
Yeah, that was really great.
It's really nice to be able to play like as much as we've been playing. Even though I'm a little bit, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh.
Oh, hey, we're in the same boat there. I know. Like I said, I just talk on the radio. I don't have to sing, which is probably a good thing. My wife called the radio station the other day and says, Trey, why are you singing on the microphone? Let's turn that off. Again, the Brown Mountain Light and Bugs joins us right here on our Artist Spotlight segment here on Next Door Radio and nextdoorradio.com. So I tell artists all the time, you know, I hate talking about the pandemic and things like that for 2020 because it's hard for everybody. It's hard for, of course, radio stations, but also local businesses, artists, bands, and things like that. Talk about how that kind of influenced you to where you are now, because again, it can be kind of a blessing to like you said, a blessing kind of thing. But how was the pandemic time and that time off? How did it influence you guys?
You broke up just a little bit, but I think I got the gist of the question. So yeah, when we got back to North Carolina off of our first cross country tour on March 14th last year. So we went from 100 miles an hour to nothing in a split second, and I think one of the big things for me was that it made me realize how tenuous things can be. And I think it just refocused me. I was talking to Zach the other day, and there was an article I read when I was first kind of getting into music. It was an interview with another musician. I don't even remember who it was, but they said that someone had told them very early on, if this is what you want, then you can't have a plan B. Like, you just have to find a way to make it work. And I think that's kind of what we did. We did all kinds of work.
We installed air conditioners for a minute.
We did. Which was a different kind of thing. But I like manual labor. I don't know about everybody else, but I find it relaxing. So that was actually kind of nice. And we both teach, so I was able to keep teaching through Zoom for most of this, and I still have a lot of Zoom students. And yeah, we just kind of pieced things together to where we could still continue doing music, and we just kind of kept hope alive that live music would come back. We recorded an EP during that time right here in this little studio. So yeah, we just tried to stay active.
Well, so I think I know that going through the stress of last year, just reconfirmed for me that we were on the right path trying to pursue music, because when the whole world's crumbling around you the way it was last year, it's like that just highlights for you what the things that really matter and the things that you really want to do. And I feel the same way. So when I was 24, I had cancer and almost died from it. And ever since then, I've pursued the things that I really wanted out of life as much as I can, and I feel like 2020 is kind of the same way. It's like when you go through a tragedy like that, it's like, okay, well, now I know what I really want to do, and I don't want to spend my time doing a bunch of stuff that I'm doing just to get by. You know what I mean? So. Wow.
Well, I didn't know that about the cancer. So congratulations there. I mean, that's pretty awesome. How old are you now? Don't mind me asking.
35. So I'm right now I'm at about 10 years cancer free. So.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, congratulations there, my friend. I know my family also is. Some has passed away, and of course, some are fighting it right now. So it's definitely a hard thing to overcome. And so congratulations there. Again, Kendra and Zach Harding with their Brown Mountain Light and Bugs right here in our Artist Spotlight segment. So what's coming up? I know you talked about a little bit the EP that you put out during this pandemic, the 2020 time, COVID-19. So what was that all about? How did that come about for you?
Well, we were supposed to have an album. So our most recent album just came out a month ago. And that was supposed to come out last year, but for obvious reasons it didn't. So whenever we couldn't get that going, we decided to record this EP from home just to test out some home recording stuff we had bought. And also we couldn't go anywhere. So we recorded a 5-song EP from home that is like really stripped down and simple compared to the albums, and it ended up really being one of my favorite things we've done. Yeah. A lot of the songs on it were about being on the road and missing being on the road because we had just gotten off. Which when we do another one, that Amarillo would be a good one to do. But,
yeah, and it's kind of funny because we just did that, because we needed to keep ourselves busy and occupied, and it turns out that someone who came to see us at a streetery event that we played at, she asked us to play one of the songs from that for her to walk down the aisle to later this year, which is crazy.
Yeah,
that is like just the most amazing thing in the world, because I would never have thought that something off of that little EP that we recorded from home would be that special to someone. So yeah, pretty
man, no, that's pretty awesome. It's pretty cool to kind of witness and see things like that where yes, you put it together, you put a lot of work and a lot of heart into it, but until somebody actually hears it and enjoys it, and that, to me, that's pretty awesome that you can take that one song and kind of walk down the aisle. Because I'm a wedding DJ, officiant, ordained minister, so that stuff like that excites me. I'm not gonna lie. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So moving forward, you talk about the new EP for the Brown Mountain Lightning Bugs. What else can our listeners learn about the Brown Mountain Lightning Bugs?
Well, we did release our album finally in April. So that's on all the streaming services. We also have hard copies of
Folk-ish.
Folk-ish.
Tell them why it's called Folk-ish.
Because it's 16 songs. It's massive. So you get your money's worth for it. And the first 8 songs are more of a stripped down, acoustic-y, folky kind of thing. And then the last 8 songs are full band, and we recorded at Sedgwick Studios in Hendersonville. It's got drums, bass, electric guitar, all kinds of stuff. And we employed the expertise of our friends Trevor Walker, Wayne Redden, Zach's brother, and Lisa Walker as well, who's Trevor's wife, on this. And so you'll get to hear some other musicians, because we both believe that when you collaborate with other people, what you make is better than the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
And other people bringing their voice into our stuff has made me like re-fall in love with songs that I thought were boring.
Oh yeah.
And so
several times.
We're very proud of that album. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So explain it takes a lot of dedication, obviously, to put together something like that and trying to figure out, but explain the process of when artists like yourself sit down and say, this song would be great on this album. How does that kind of come about for you guys?
So we almost always, Kendra and I write a lot. So we ended up writing most of these songs that appear on this album at least a year, if not 2 or more years before the album came out. So that means over those 2 years, we've played them and played them and played them and played them live. So we've really workshopped through them, dozens and dozens of times. And so you get familiar with the way audiences react to them, whether this is like, oh, this is a really good place to start a show. And if it's a good place to start a show, it's probably a good place to start an album too. So actually the first song on the album is often a song that we use to start the show with. So we almost tailor the track list on the album to be similar to the way we might play a show, because the last track is also often the last song we play at a show.
Oh,
so yeah,
well, that's cool.
Yeah,
man, that's really neat. So what else? I want to hear some more music. Are you guys what are you gonna be playing next?
Yeah, we're gonna do one off of that EP, and this was it's come full circle now, which is nice. It is one that I wrote probably April of last year, as I was missing being on the road. Like we kind of got the bug doing that little tour before everything shut down, and I was a little bummed. And so I did what songwriters do when they're bummed about things, and I wrote about it. And so this is a song about missing being on the road and looking forward to getting back out, and it's pretty. You miss it a lot when you're talking about sleeping at a rest stop outside of Amarillo.
Yeah. How nice it was.
And how nice it was, because if you've ever been near Amarillo, you know that there are cattle.
Yeah. And the associated olfactory associations. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, this is Amarillo.
All right, take it away.
Miles and miles of fights and smiles, midnight coffee, hours and hours of songs we thought we knew. Stumble back through our front door, nothing's like it was before. The tunes have changed for me and you. I never thought I'd wish that I were sleeping at a rest stop somewhere outside of Amarillo. Moments I would throw away, now I wish they could have stayed, and I'm wondering, where will we go when the world stops? Know that we're the lucky ones, we're still standing singing strong songs we thought we knew. And even if our luck runs out, I know that without a doubt we'll carry on with fire in it too. I never thought I'd wish that I was sleeping at a rest stop somewhere outside of Amarillo. Moments I would throw away, now I wish they could have stayed, and I'm wondering, where will we go when the world stops? I close my eyes and let the tears burn away the pain and the fear, and I speak the names of the ones who came, the ones who smiled, the ones who stayed, and I hope against the dark that somewhere out there there's a spark, and we're carrying the fire. Maybe someday soon I'll be sleeping at a rest stop somewhere outside of Amarillo. Knowing I'll look back one day, I'll look back and know we made it through. We made it through when the world stopped. When the world stops. When the world stops. When the world stops.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Thank
Again,
Thank you.
that is so awesome. Impressive. And ironically, I've actually stayed in Amarillo at a little motel on the side of the road driving past. So we're like family. We didn't even know it. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you've done that, you
You'd never forget it.
yes. I actually really really liked Amarillo. I liked where we played. We played at this little bar that almost kind of has like a punk rock vibe. It's called Leftwoods, and everyone there is just the nicest people in the world. They're all these like big, burly, bearded dudes who look like they're super scary, but they're all super sweet. So we ended up having a really good time there. So, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Again, Kendra and Zach Harding, a husband and wife duo of the Brown Mountain Lighting Bugs. Hey, I'm looking down your event schedule here on your website, which is the brownmountainlightingbugs.com. You guys talking about a busy, not only May, but your June is filled up as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it as bad as May?
It's not. No, May was great. I'm not gonna say it was as bad.
May wasn't bad, but
but yeah, so we're kind of going all over. And I think part of what happened was we had all these things that had been scheduled during this same time last year, and then they were gone, and then the places we had scheduled those things with were now like, okay, well, let's get it back on. And so we've been very, very fortunate to have work. And so this weekend coming up, we've got NC Trail Days. We're playing for that up in Elkin, which is going to be really nice. So if you're going to that, come out. We are at, what's the name of the place we're playing? I can't.
The Wisdom Table.
Wisdom Table. There we go. It's on the calendar, but the name of it is small.
Yeah.
And then after that, we're driving up to Bryson City and playing at the Nantahala Outdoor Center. So a lot of outside stuff.
we're doing that one as a trio with my brother on drums, which
Yeah.
is always a treat. We don't do a ton of shows that way, but it's really nice when we play with him as a trio. So
Yeah.
So
And
how
we're
is?
back-
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, then we're back in this area on Sunday at Zimmerman Vineyards, which is a small family-owned vineyard over in Trinity, and it is really cool if you've never been there. It's a neat spot.
Oh, I love when artists are finally starting to kind of get their feet put back in the water, especially with everything that's going on. And so it's such a great sight. So the question I was going to ask you regarding the individual, the duo of the husband and wife, but then mixing it in with some other voices, like you said on your new album, Folkish. How different is that, especially when it comes to it's something different in the studio, but once you get out on the stage and in front of an audience, how does that kind of work out for you guys?
it depends on who we're playing with, but my brother is actually the guy who mixed our albums, right? So, and plus I've been playing with music with him for like, literally 25 years or so. He just is so familiar and so in tune with us individually and also the songs, because he's the one who did the mixing on them, that he doesn't have to practice with us. We don't have to rehearse. We don't even, we will have new songs that he's never heard before. He's never heard them. And I'll say, okay, Wayne, this one kind of has a groove like this. And he's like, okay, I got it. And then he will play the whole song and hit parts. Like if there's a specific part that needs a very specific drum thing, he will hit it even though he's never heard it before. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
He is a Berkeley grad, so he has put in the work to be super, super on the ball as a musician, and he's fabulous.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
Yeah, playing as a trio with him, it's just like you just get up there and do it, and it's fine.
Well, that makes it a little bit easier when you've been playing with somebody for 25 years.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and Kendra and I have gotten to this point too. It's the coolest thing. It's one of my favorite things about being a musician is that whenever you've played music with somebody, it's almost like you're telepathic with each other. It's like she just knows what's coming next from me, and I know what's coming next from her, and it's such a nice experience to just I just hit something a little different this time, and Kendra's like, okay, I know what this is going to be. It's great.
Is it hard working with really family? Because my wife tells me all the time that she would hate working with me. I mean, so because we're very much alike, but we believe that we would kind of not hit it very often when we come to work. Is it difficult when it comes to that kind of stuff as well?
No, I think we lucked out, because what brought us together in the first place was playing music together, and so I honestly had sworn off ever dating another musician, because I had a bad run-in with more than one. Um, and so I was like, nah, I'm just not going to do it. But it was different. And our kind of skill sets and our strengths are different. And so when it comes to both playing and just kind of running the business side of it, we balance each other out really well so that we're both kind of dividing and conquering. I mean, even when we're like packing up at a gig, there's no like it needs to be XYZ. We just kind of again telepathically like this is how it's gonna go. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. Again, the Brown Mountain Light Bugs right here on Artist Spotlight. Again, Kendra and Zach Harding, a husband and wife, do. Hey, we have time for one more song. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And we have to say goodbye. What do we want to play for our last song today?
You pick. You do something else with this?
Yeah. How about...
I know, you know, they always say I like throwing people on the bus, so I'm good at that. So you're welcome.
We're gonna do one that has not been released yet that I wrote. And I started writing it the day that I said goodbye to my grandfather in the hospital. And he and I kind of had a rocky relationship. And then I finished it the day of his funeral. And so that's kind of what it's about. And it's about kind of how you share traits with your family, whether you want to or not. And so that's it.
Awesome. Take it away.
Sometimes it rages, sometimes it rains for days. Sometimes there's thunder, and sometimes it's just gray. And I can't recall the time when it wasn't this way. Guess it's always been, guess it's always gonna stay. 'Cause the roots run underneath the pavement, and I've always lived between the chaos and the calm. My facade cries house and the car.
The Brown Mountain Lightning Bugs right here on the Artist Spotlight. The husband and wife duo, Kendra and Zach Harding. Guys, thank you so much for joining me here this morning. Once again, where can our listeners find some information about what you have coming up? Some new albums, new songs. Where can they find some information about it?
Yeah, they can find us on all of the social medias. Instagram is the one I'm most active on. We try to be active on Facebook, but they keep changing the Facebook business thing. Yeah. And that's really frustrating, but we're on there. YouTube, we put out quite a bit of stuff on there, and of course our website, we always update that with all of our shows, and that's just our name, brownmountainlightningbugs.com.
If you Google that, we are the only thing that shows up.
Yeah.
If you Google Brown Mountain Lightning Bugs, there's nobody else out there. So
there you go. I love it. Well, again, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day there in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. When you're in town, feel free to stop by the studio anytime, okay?
Yeah, we'd love to.
Awesome. Appreciate you. Again, this is the Artist Spotlight right here on Next Door Radio. This is being recorded not by way of our video for YouTube, but also our recording as well on SoundCloud. But head over to our website, nextdoorradio.com, for some more information. Until next time, God bless. You be the difference. While somebody smiles today, we'll see you later.